Well done, everybody. 8:44. Now, attempting to climb Mount Everest is no small feat, but for Martin Hewitt and Terry Byrne, it's just one step in completing one of the most difficult challenges on Earth. It's called the Explorer's Grand Slam.
No, I'd never heard of this particular Grand Slam before today, but they will explain. The two paratroopers who suffered life-changing injuries while serving in Afghanistan aim to summit the highest peaks in each of the 7 continents, plus trek unsupported to the North and the South Poles. Incredible.
Yeah. Should we have a little look before we meet them at their journey so far?
I don't want to be anywhere but here. The wind's howling. It's quite hot.
Today we summited Killy at about 5,900 metres. We ascended from the school hut to the summit in about 5 hours, and then from the summit at 5.9 down to Mawiki camp at 3,900 metres. So it's been a tough day for me. Obviously it's took its toll on my body. Absolute cracking day, and the views up there was pretty sort of unbelievable. Kenya on one side and Tanzania on the other.
Amazing. Martin Terry here with us now. Morning, both. Thanks for joining us.
Lovely to see you, fellas.
Who wants to tell me? So, what the Grand Slam is an extraordinary thing to try and do. Whose idea was this?
Yeah, my idea, unfortunately.
I can drag it along.
So talk us through what you've done so far and what you still need to do to achieve this.
OK, so we're in slightly different places at the minute.
Yeah.
So personally, I've done the geographic North Pole. We've both done Everest in Europe, Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua. I've done Denali. Terry attempted it and failed because of bad weather, or because he was lazy that day. I'm not quite sure, if I'm honest.
So I'm on 3 summits at the minute, and I think you're on 5 in total, aren't you?
Yeah, got a few more to do still.
Which is the toughest so far?
Well, the toughest so far wasn't actually one of the 7 summits. It was a mountain called Manaslu, which is the 8th highest mountain in the world in the Himalayas. And that was hard, really, because it was the first time I've been to that kind of altitude, and I suffer with altitude sickness. And I'm scared of heights. And it was the first time I did a crevasse crossing. So that was quite interesting.
And that's when you have to get the ladder out, is that right?
Yeah, so exactly. And you've basically got a gap to cross, and there's different ways of doing it. You could climb down across the base and up the far side, but the most efficient way of doing it these days is to get a ladder across there.
Now, I've just come back from Comet Relief trip up Kilimanjaro, and we all found that difficult. But I was saying to Louise, I feel completely insignificant now because you guys are doing this. And talk us through, Terry, some of the injuries that you've picked up in active service.
So yeah, I trod on a pressure pad IED, so effectively a landmine, and lost my right leg below knee, and then lost my little finger and damaged my right hand. So yeah, so I'm a below knee amputee.
Okay, so that and you were injured. You were injured as well.
I've got a paralysed right arm. I got shot in the upper chest, shoulder area, and that severed all the nerves to my arm, rendering it paralysed.
Okay, so different injuries presumably bring different kind of, I don't know, adaptations, difficulties.
Yeah, and it works well for the sort of team dynamics, because obviously Martin's a little bit stronger than me when he's going up the hill carrying the weight, and I'm probably a little bit stronger at the tent admin, so I can get the tent out. I can deal with the food a lot easier because with the 2 arms against the 2 legs. So as a teamwork, it works really well, and we play off each other's strengths.
Tell me about the actual kind of technical climbing as well, because presumably, do you have to have different equipment, or how does it work?
Yeah, well, you've got to really look at what are the technical aspects and how you're going to utilise equipment and climbing techniques to overcome the additional challenges we face with disabilities. So we use anchor points on the hill, some of which are fixed, some of which we may put in addition to what's already there, to really provide an element of security on the hill. And we have a Jumar, or a one-way ascender, which is a locking valve, and that basically gives you an element of security on the mountain.
We can see some pictures here of you training for Everest. I think this is in the French Alps. You've been filming this.
Yeah.
Terry, are you daunted by the idea of climbing Everest? Because base camp of Everest is it's basically ridiculously high, isn't it? Before you even start to get to the summit.
It is, yeah. It's 5,400 metres around that. So it's obviously it's the biggest in the world. It's the most well-known in the world. I wouldn't say I'm daunted. I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity and what the AGS Foundation has sort of given me. So apprehensive a little bit and sort of away from the family for a long time, but no, I'm really looking forward to it. I feel that over the last 6 months we've done the training required.
Martin, can I just take you back to something you said earlier? You said you're scared of heights.
Yeah.
And you're going to climb Everest. I mean, that is impressive.
Well, I was a former paratroopers as well, but it's like anything, you've got to learn to. Everyone suffers apprehension in their life through one thing or another. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to deal with it, you need to find the coping mechanism and a way in which you are going to control the fear. And that is through preparation and training. And that is what we've been doing. You know, this isn't our first mountain, so it's a case of trying to build up experience, trust in yourself, in your team, in the equipment that you're using, in the techniques that you're using. And that ultimately is what enables us to overcome the fear.
So when you're throwing a ladder across a crevasse, somebody who's scared of heights, as you said that you are, what's the sort of process you're going through in your head to convince yourself? Because obviously you've got to get across there, otherwise that's the end of the climb.
Yeah.
So how do you mentally put yourself through that and make sure you do it?
Yeah, so we actually replicate the crevasse crossing field further down the mountain in a relatively safe environment. So we practice going across it. On a practical level, the arm is actually quite heavy, so you've got a balance issue there. So
you've only got one arm to pull yourself across.
Yeah, and a dead weight on one side. You'd be surprised how heavy your limbs are until you can't use them. So you've got to get used to that. So we go across it initially in training, just time and time again, getting confident, getting our core balance right, and then with weight, and then your breathing techniques I found quite useful.
What's the drop below the ladder?
It varies. So the smallest one I've done will probably be about 50 foot. Some of them can be significantly higher than that.
Go on.
What, thousands of metres?
Well, the biggest one I've seen, I guesstimate was about 1,000 foot drop.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, Dan, obviously, we know because we watched Dan climbing Kilimanjaro that you suffered quite badly from altitude sickness, which was a horrible thing. How do you two deal with it?
I've always been quite good with the altitude. Martin suffers a lot more, so my morale on the mountains, watching Martin suffer with altitude and being scared of heights, doing the crevasse crossings.
Wow.
So that's where I sort of gain a little bit on him. But
I'm basically there to provide morale for Terry. That's my role.
However bad I feel, Martin feels worse. That's the way I see it.
Right, and I mean, you know, so how do you feel the altitude sickness?
I'm lucky in the sense that I can actually, some people, no matter what level of training they do or what level of fitness they have or mental robustness, their body just says no. They can't physiologically adapt to the change in atmospheric conditions up there. I'm fortunate in that I can. However, I do suffer, so I'm sick. I can't sleep at all above 7,000 metres. I can't eat above 7,500 metres. So again, it's down to preparation mentally and physically to prepare yourself for that. And we're lucky we've got some great support from a number of people in different aspects. So physiologists or psychologists, we've got a number of people that help us with preparing for this. And
if you don't eat and drink at altitude, then you very quickly run out of energy, don't you? And then your body starts to shut down.
Yeah, so there's a number of things you've got to be fairly tactful on. And nutrition's one of them. The way in which pace is another. We have to look at that in some depth because the technical aspects of the climb are going to take us longer because of our injuries, frankly. So we are going to need to adapt. And
very quickly, Terry, who are you raising money for?
So the AGS have obviously supporting us. There's Blesma, support our paras. They're the sort of sponsors. Well, they're the ones we're supporting on this event.
Well, listen. Good luck. Enjoy. Come back safe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming to tell us about it.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
Power of the mind, eh? Yes, we're going to learn a bit more about that, actually. Memory coming up. Yeah, what's your memory like? Any good?
Not after an 8,000 metre peak.
Right.
There's a few brain cells of it,
well, we're not going to test Carol's memory now.